Welcome back to BSI for the Verizon post-game interview. Here joining me right now is Inspired. Congrats on the W today. I have a question. There was a delay in Champ Select because of wardrobe violation, and I know that usually you like to wear Crocs on stage, so is there anything to do with that?
Yeah, basically Riot forbid us wearing Crocs on stage. They said that we can either play with shoes or without shoes, but not with Crocs. I don't know what's the rule there, but we have to follow it, and Jojo was obviously with Crocs on stage, and then a Riot referee came there with a pair of shoes and was like, wear this. So yeah, that was a bit annoying, but I guess that's the rules. I don't know. It's a pretty weird rule if you ask me.
Kind of weird, but you know what? Next time you just flex it and go barefoot on stage. I guess it could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, a bit more about the game. You played Maokai today, and we've seen this big triple flex so far. So I'm interested in knowing how much of a priority you think it's going to have in the jungle, and how do you rate the champion right now?
I think the champion is pretty strong if you go to team fights, especially if enemy have comp that don't have much shielding and healing power. Like enemy comp in this game had legit 0 shield, 0 healing. So when it comes to Drakes that had like 11k health in the starting from the third one, your E will do a lot of poke, and also your ult is like very good zone control to like walk up when the objective is very low. So I think that's like very good part about the Maokai, but I think his early game is pretty weak. Like if you play against something like Graves or something strong, then they might invade you, might get a bit of a lead. But this game, enemy team picked like scaling mid laner Victor, they picked Wukong, which is pretty slow early game. Then it's like pretty free game for Maokai.
Not the best clear maybe, but do you think it's going to become one of the top picks maybe? I don't know how the jungle is going to look like.
I think so. I would be a bit scared picking those champs against Chinese teams because they are really aggressive. So maybe I will not be able to scale up. But I think against everyone else, it's probably pretty strong champion.
That was a nice tree gameplay, nonetheless. A bit more, some words about Loud. They've been playing well, honestly. Give you a bit of a hard time in that game. Do you think they can create a surprise in your group?
Yeah, I mean, I was already surprised yesterday when they beat DFM. I didn't expect them to, and they played pretty well. And today, I think they did decently, but I think the game became very hard for us on the Rift when we lost the fight, which I think we got very overexcited because we could have just kept hitting Rift, and when enemies tried to walk up, then we just press Maokai ult, I flash on someone, and we engage the fight. But instead, we like overforced the fight really hard, and they got pretty big lead off of that. And after that, I think they were just not careful enough. I think they just took very aggressive plays and it didn't pay off for them, like going bot really hard, TPing there with Victor, then starting Nashas free. I think that was probably they just didn't know what to do in the certain spots, so they kind of threw the game. But I think they had very good positions, so I think they are not as bad as I thought they might be.
You still managed to take advantage of their weaknesses. Okay, time for feedback about your mid laner, because I know you like to give some strong words about Jojo.
Yeah.
How did he do today?
I think he did pretty well. I mean, he got his one of his best champions, Akali. He really likes to play it, so he was very hyped after the champion select. And in game, he even got the solo kill, right? I think he did. I think he got the solo kill. I think on Rift Herald he was the one like calling to go really hard because Victor has no flash. I think he could have been a little bit more patient and we would win the game there. But other than that, I think he played very well. He was doing a lot of damage in fights and doing what he's supposed to do.
Team effort. You all played well today, and you're coming back at Worlds this year in a different region as the MVP once again of a summer MVP of a different region as well. How much different are you as a player this time though?
So much different. I don't know. I think I'm more mature maybe than I was before, and I have like a lot of like. I know how it is to play at Worlds now. I know that every team is beatable in official games because I feel like the worst teams are usually better on stage and the best teams are usually a little bit worse. So I mean, it's not like they are worse, but the gap is like closing when it comes to official games. So even if you lose some games in scrims to the best teams, if you perform well on stage, you can still like make a competitive game. So now I'm, I guess, more like. I try to tell it to my team that even if we don't perform too well, it will all come down to like important games that we will need to perform in, and we can always win against anyone.
What a leader needs to be. Always nice to talk to you. Inspired. Looking forward to see how far you can go this time around at Worlds. And that's all for us here. Back to you guys in LA.